Hey you, and welcome back to another video on the channel where we're talking about one of the greatest animes ever made, and that is the full season 1 of My Hero Academia. Now, before you go and say it's not the greatest anime ever made, let me review it and then give you my kind of thoughts on it. And yeah, but I still think it's a pretty great anime. If you're a fan of anime like myself, hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, and leave a cheeky comment down below. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Before you come at me saying this isn't the best anime, the best anime is my favorite anime, etc. These are my thoughts on it. Now, if you don't know about the world of My Hero Academia, it's basically superheroes. That's all I can really say. It's all about superheroes where everyone pretty much has a quirk and there's only a small percentage in the world that doesn't. Now, these quirks can be anything from super speed, flight, invisibility, to different things that happen. It's so random that there are so many different kind of quirks out there. But one thing is I love about this is the main hero, the main protagonist, Deku, doesn't actually have a quirk at the very beginning. Now, there are speculation that it was taken because of the doctor who says that he didn't have a quirk, and that's all in the manga and stuff like that. But to be fair, at the very beginning, Deku has nothing. He has no quirks. You know, he just knows all about superheroes and, you know, the heroes around the city, and that's it. And I really enjoyed that because it just wasn't a thing where, you know, the main hero of the story comes along and boom, he is able to destroy everything. And the way that Deku actually has to learn quirk, I think that's absolutely amazing. I feel like in this that there is repercussions to using it. If he uses it at full power, he breaks his body. If he uses it at 50%, he breaks his body. Even if he used it at 20%, he will break his body. And I like that there is limitations to what he uses, but I do think that later on that he should have something that stops it. I think Melissa or something in one of the films gives him a gauntlet that allows him to. Why doesn't he have that? That's a story for another day. So when Deku finds out he doesn't have a power, he then spends his time trying to help people. And I kind of generally like that. That's being a hero. And, you know, you're led to believe that he is this like sweet innocent boy, and he probably is. As before, Deku has no quirk whatsoever, so he is the type of character that wants to help people as much as he can by putting his own life at risk. We see this when he tries to save Kachan later on. As before, he is the sort of character that will kind of go crazy over heroes. He's a kind of a fanboy, but again, his quirk allows him to do what he can, but he doesn't know how to fully use it. And there's the limitation, which I think is absolutely great. You meet many different characters along the way. You meet Kachan straight away because he is the bully of Deku. He hates Deku for some strange reason. And I would kind of like to explore that a little bit more because it just feels kind of weird that he just gets his quirk and he's like, oh, I'm going to bully because I've got power, etc. So I would like to kind of see that later on. You see it very briefly, but there has to be a proper reason. You also meet All Might, who is the #1 hero. He saves the day, he is great, everybody loves him. He cannot do anything wrong, but you find out about his secret very early on, and I kind of like that. There are some things that I would kind of go, could he not have this back or later on, but that's like much later on in the anime. Deku meets All Might. He impresses him completely by going after the monster that has enslaved Kachan, that is trying to take over his body, etc. And I liked it. I loved the music that they used. It's one of the best music that I've heard from in anime, and it always gets you pumped. It works, and that's what I generally kind of like. So with all this way, Deku trains because All Might wants to, you know, pass on his power to him, which he does in the way like Deku like clears the beach full of rubbish. He sorts it, he does it properly, and obviously his entire body has changed, but he hasn't completely trained it for what All Might wants. But therefore he gives him the DNA. I find this really weird that he just goes, here, I'm passing on my power, eat this piece of hair and you're absolutely fine. I found that a bit weird, but hey, anime is weird and I freaking love it. The main quirk that All Might has is One for All, which basically is a ton of power in it. You know, he can punch really hard, which literally creates tornadoes. It could devastate everything. You know, he is pretty much like Superman when he's at full power, and I kind of want to see Deku reach that. He does at times later on, but for the first season, I kind of really wanted him to kind of be more powerful. Also kind of really knows what to do, which again, for a person that's had no power all the way through, I think it's pretty rad. Deku gets into UA High, which has got all the people there that have powers, and they also got to kind of train all the way through. There's not really kind of much in this. There's mainly just the whole Deku getting into UA, then he obviously trains a little bit. They do stuff like firing like sports stuff. Not much to it. Then they go to this training where they have to save people in different kind of scenarios for the heroes, and that's, I think, a really kind of cool thing. But then it changes because then the villains come in and they mess everything up. So to me, that was something where I generally kind of thought, you know, you don't get much. I think this was the testing waters for all of like the My Hero Academia, if it was going to do well, and they didn't kind of put too much thoughts into it. I do love the scene with Namu and All Might. It's one of my all-time anime fights because it's just, the music goes so well with it. It gives me goosebumps every single time that I see it. All the way through the training to get into UA. I did forget to mention that they have to go through like kind of villains training, like 2 people are the heroes, 2 people are the villains, which is when it comes to Deku and Kachan just wants to go after Deku, like that's it, he's not holding back. And I love the fact that when you see it on his face later on, when he actually proves that he's a tactician, the way that he's done it, seeing like Kachan go, what the hell, is I think one of the biggest moments like in this anime, where I feel that, you know, Kachan knows something's up and he wants to kind of get down, like he wants to get down to the bottom of it, which I thought, do you know what, I kind of like this. So I kind of wanted to see a lot more. We see it in season 2 and onwards and that, but this is the main thing where he realizes, shit, I shouldn't be fighting against Deku like this. And I love the fact that Deku is the name, like he says like, oh, this is what you are, and he uses it as his hero name, and he's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit right now. And Kachan's like, fuck you, I hate you. And I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. Deku introduces himself to all the kind of new students and stuff. They all don't believe what he can do, and they kind of want to see it, and Deku's like, not. So in the first like match where he hits a giant robot and just blows it away, everyone's like, holy crap. And I think also like Kachan's like, when the hell did he get his power from? I quite like that because it felt like it was something a bit different. But obviously he doesn't do anything after that, which I would have kind of liked him to take down all the robots type thing straight away, because I would like to see everyone go, oh my god. But I'm guessing that would kind of fail in Deku not knowing how to use his quirk straight away. But it does set up the whole thing with Iroha-chan, that he is going to kind of fall in love and they're going to get together and stuff like that. So you kind of introduce that love interest straight away, as well as the first part of the story. As we get through the anime, you're introduced to bad guys. And some of the bad guys have really kind of cool powers, which you kind of think, could they overpower everyone quite quickly if they work together? And you see this in the kind of last part of this anime. I really liked it. I kind of want to see more of it, and I like the fact that you're introduced to bad guys kind of straight away in episode 1, but then it kind of gets more progressive over time. So I think the main big part of the story arc is the one where they go to I think it's the danger zone or disastrous zone, where they have multiple disasters kind of going on and they've got to save people. I think that was something that was very kind of unique and something that I kind of really liked. And the fact is that the kids get separated because they don't know like what to do or where to go, and they have to work with people that they've not worked with before. Some people work well together, some people don't. Again, I think my favorite part in this entire anime is the All Might and Namu fight, because it felt like it worked really well. The music is there. You know, All Might comes in because he's like, his power's like diminishing. He can only keep his hero form up for like a certain amount of like hours per day or minutes or whatever. So he still goes into the fight, but it's the way the fight is, and again, it still gives me kind of goosebumps watching it every single time. I think it's just the way that the music works so well, and obviously because I watched this in English, hearing Chris Sabat's voice is very kind of, you know, it's very like, you know, listen to me, I'm going to do this. I'm like, do you know what? I kind of like that. I think it works well with All Might. One thing I think that kind of irritates me a little bit, and I can see the reason why they do this, is you have like the teachers saying, no, kids don't fight, but then you don't have many people that are pro heroes to help, because all communication's been blocked so they can't get the name out there. So I feel like you would kind of utilize what you can. I know the kids wouldn't have like much training, but you'd be able to say, right, you use this, like kids, can you go after and fight the low level guys and use your powers? I think that would have worked. But, you know, I can understand that you can't get hurt, or, you know, if you get hurt, then you're bad. But you have people that can heal them. So the only thing I can think of is if something really bad happened. But to me, I kind of think, well, why don't you utilize the ones that have got the strongest powers to help you in your fight, take down the fodder, and just be like, right, you're done. And then work on the bigger bad guys later on until help comes in. I really liked the animation in this. I felt like it flowed really, really well. There wasn't anything rushed. There wasn't anything drawn completely out of character. And I think that kind of works. But I'm guessing that they spent a long time working on this before they kind of released it, so it wouldn't get kind of bad or samey. But I didn't see any kind of bad animation all the way through. If you have, let me know down below in the comments. Now, I know not everyone likes superhero anime, and I feel like this one stands out because of the main character Deku, because he hasn't had a superpower, and therefore it has consequences. It wasn't like he gained this power and knows how to use it, so he then becomes that kind of dick main character that knows he's super powerful. But I feel like because he didn't know how to use it, there are consequences. His bones break, you know, he can hurt himself, and there isn't much that he can do with it. He has all this power in his fingertips, and it hurts him because he doesn't know how to use it. And I think that's why I like this so much, and it stands out to me. There are so many characters that stand out in this. And I think one of my favorites is Denki, and the way that if he uses his quirk, which is electricity, and he uses it all up in one go, he becomes silly and stupid. And it's just the expression that comes on his face. I feel like this is really cool because, again, other people have limitations on their power, and I love it. I think it's fantastic to see that. You know, you see like electric characters like Pikachu unloading all the energy in his body, and he's absolutely fine. So when they add this little thing in, like, you know, oh, I've used all the electricity in my body, I'm like, oh, I'm silly and stupid, I'm like, I kind of really think that's funny. I feel like that is, it's not saying that you can constantly always use your power and get away with things. There are limitations, and that I think is absolutely great. And again, it adds more to the anime than people know. Even when you like look at other characters, like Momo is one of my favorite in this, and when you get an explanation of her quirk, it's like she can make anything that she wants, but she has to know how it's made, and I think that's fantastic. You know, that's some well thought out power that you have to understand it as well. Not just like, oh, I know how to make this. You have to really understand it, so it's boosting it. So it's kind of cool. I know that she has limitations, that she can't always keep producing stuff, that she gets tired, and that's another factor that they put in, which again worked really, really well. When you get to the end of season 1, they continue to kind of make you want to watch it. They kind of throw in saying like, oh, this is going to happen, and you really want to know what goes on. And I feel like they knew about this straight away. They knew how popular the manga was, so they wanted to kind of continue. When you have an adaptation of manga to anime, sometimes some things go weird. Sometimes it might not be perceived that well or be loved, but when you see the fact that they've already got it planned and they're going to produce it anyway, I felt like that is something that needs to kind of be noted. I really do like My Hero Academia. I feel like it does stand out quite a lot from most of the other animes, and I think that's what really kind of caught my eye. As I've talked about Deku in this, he stands out a lot more to me. But this is something that I kind of would recommend to everyone. There are characters that you may like or dislike, and I feel like they will have something that kind of makes you want to relate to them, which I feel is a thing that anime doesn't really kind of do that much anymore. But it's nice to kind of see this. You know that they've got their own quirks, or their quirkiness, and you kind of see them grow all the way through from season 1 onwards. That some are scared, some then gain bravery, some kind of realize something that goes on later on that affects them, and they have to kind of change the way that they think. I feel like all of this is kind of bundled in, and it's in for the ride. So obviously when they finish it, which I'm guessing is very soon manga wise, as soon as the anime finishes, then they could probably make some more stuff that doesn't have to follow the manga. But for what you can do and what you watch in season 1, I feel like it's a great introduction to this world, that if you do like it, you continue watching. If you've had enough, you can then just kind of move on from it and just go, yeah, they all did it. But right now, you can buy this on Blu-ray or DVD, but you can also stream it on Funimation. I'm going to link everything down below, so you guys can check it out if you want to see that. So I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on the anime? Now, If you were to have a quirk, what quirk would you have, and would you be good or evil? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as what did you think of the anime, and let me know your favorite moment as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky little notification bell to be notified when more videos drop, and of course I'll leave it there. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとう。チャンネル登録、高評価お願い。